Thanks for pressing play on another Pay Me No Mind sports and entertainment video. Rocking on the lunch break again. Gonna jump right into it, man, with some bite down boxing discussion. A brother asked me last night, what were my thoughts or my reaction to the Deontay Wilder arbitration victory versus Tyson Fury last night. And, the former judge or whatever he was, Daniel Weinstein, he did his thing, made his decision, and we had what we had. Before we get into it, I just saw this clip yesterday on Instagram from this comedian, Ryan Davis. And he was talking about, it doesn't matter if you are good at what you do. It doesn't matter what level of talent you have. None of that stuff matters anymore. I can't think where he was going, but he was just like, basically, I'm getting to one of the largest boxing channels on YouTube of an individual, not with like a panel or whatever, but one of the biggest boxing channels that I've seen ran by an individual, a brother. In the last 2 or 3 days, ever since the arbitration decision was reported, this brother said on one day, he said the Tyson Fury fight with AJ was happening. 4,000 or 5,000 views that day. The next day, he has something about the arbitration decision and things could be on hold. 4,000 or 5,000 views that day. Last night, he has a video about Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder, July 24th. Another 5,000 views. Like, when does anybody question this brother about where you're getting your information from? When does anybody have to be right about anything? I don't know what the hell was going on, so I'm not saying anything because I don't have any real credible information to look at. So that's why I got on the title, I don't even know if the French fries are real. That's what the comedian Ryan Davis was talking. What's up, Latours? That's what the comedian Ryan Davis was talking about. Like, McDonald's that's the largest number of restaurants and fast food restaurants is McDonald's. And Ryan Davis was like, you eat a McDonald's burger, it's not the yes sir, Franklin Grimes into his house. But you eat a McDonald's burger and it's not the best burger, but why do they have the most restaurants? And then Ryan Davis was like, I don't even know if their French fries are real. I don't even know if none of this information is real that we hear on this shit. So how could I be that? I saw another post today. I'm not even gonna mention the individual's name, but he was saying that everyone was emotionally invested in this fight. We're not all emotionally invested in this fight. My position from the beginning, this shit was very simple. There was nothing to be emotional about. There was no money to throw. There was no money to hold the fight. And I can't find a mountaintop high enough to say this very simple fact from, even though I have seen nothing. I've seen no contract. I've been on no emails, no nothing. But the one fact was there was no way to hold the fight and pay the two people fighting. End of story. Whether it was December, whether it was October of 2020, there was no way to pay the fight. Does everybody not see that as soon as we just had the Canelo fight on May 8th, I believe, they had 70,000 fans in attendance. Now we see a report from Michael Benson on Twitter, something on ESPN from Bob Arum, that he has reserved Allegiant Stadium for July 24th or whatever. I think that's the date. Now you can get a gate and you can hold the fight. Now you can move forward and tell people how much I can pay you. Now you have some certainty that you can guarantee the two fighters I can pay you what we agreed to last year. None of these big channels last year, none of these channels that were complaining and bitching and talking shit and running with egg weights and cracked skulls and shit. Nobody once said or had a conversation about the fighters having to accept less because there's no crowd. Yeah, Terrence Crawford fought in Vegas in the bubble, in Top Rank's bubble. That's a much smaller amount of money that was involved. We're talking about like a minimum of $25 million a man here, or $20 or $25 million per fighter here with Wilder and Tyson Fury. Who was gonna pay for that? Like it was so simple. So I really didn't understand for somebody to sit here and tell me that that we're all emotionally invested in this. You sat here and let a bunch of people who don't know shit tell you that there was an attempted murder in the ring, that all kind of shit, fractured skulls, biopsies or autopsies, cocaine was sprinkled in the corner, all kind of wild shit. And this is what people sit around and run with because you don't have nothing better to do. This shit is hilarious to me. Like, who would even want to waste time being involved with this circus shit? I just want to see a fight. Now, Eddie Hearn. I mean, if you think that Bob Arum just pulled a masterclass in misleading Eddie Hearn for 6 or 7 months, and you're happy because your guy got to fight in Deontay Wilder, I mean, if that shit excites you, then you should be elated today. I tried to get an interview. I had an interview set up with Clarissa Shields last year or a year and a half ago. And she confirmed to me on an instant message, yeah, I'll do the interview with you. Let's do it such and such day. Once she gave me the okay that we were going to talk, I went about getting my questions together and getting some images together to promote that, and was going to do this interview 100%. I go back to IM her to lock in a date and to get a phone number to set it up. I never heard shit else. So same thing, much bigger situation with Eddie Hearn and Bob Arum. But Eddie Hearn was told numerous times, you don't have nothing to worry about with the Wilder situation. Nothing whatsoever. So Eddie Hearn went out to set up a very lucrative fight. And it appeared to be the one fight that could be made based on how it was going to be financed. Now we get to this point and the fight disappears. No big deal. I'm not sitting here rooting against Eddie Hearn. He did what he was supposed to be doing. And now at the end of this whole situation, you just pivot and you go to work making the WBO mandatory fight to face Usyk. What is there to be emotionally invested about? At the end of the day, us everyday people, we got to pay for the shit. You're going to pay somebody to watch this shit, whatever direction it went in. So what difference does it really make? You just sitting here rooting. I want to give Bob my money. I want to give Eddie Hearn my money. Man, whatever. This shit is just tell me what day the fight is and what network, and I move forward. It's no big deal. It's no better from the UK side. I'm looking on Eddie Hearn's page on Instagram, and it's 150, 200 UK people, 200 Brits. They're calling Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury sellouts because they weren't trying to have the fight in England, where it should be with the all-Britain matchup. Why are we all out here putting all this information out and having these discussions and nobody understands what the hell is going on? They couldn't have the fight in England because they don't have the clearance to have a crowd, again, to pay the fighters. Where Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua was supposed to go in here and risk getting their skull fractured and for their life to an attempt to be made on their life in the ring for $3 million or for free or for $700K. I mean, tell me what the number was that these people should go do what you want them to do. Just let's cut to the chase. So to me, I don't know. I don't see what all the hubbub is about. I don't see what all the, and I'm not, again, I put this on the post earlier. I'm not trying to say I'm the smartest guy in the room. I'm not trying to say all of these other channels are ignorant or misleading people or whatever. But the fact of the matter was there was no way to pay for the fight until there was a way to pay for the fight. And you just found out what the way to pay for the fight was. Allegiant Stadium, which was what we heard was what they were trying to do in December when they were waiting for the CDC and the guidelines and all that stuff to make it possible. So, but back to Bob Arum. I don't know if you watched this show on HBO called Succession. But it's got this lead character, 80-year-old, 75-year-old dude who's the head of this multimedia empire. Yeah, it's always personal. What's up, Tony Yayo? But on this show, Succession, man, the character is played by Brian Cox, and it's perfect for him because he's that type of guy. But this old man is trying to run this company, this multi-billion-dollar company that's involved in multimedia as stuff is transitioning away from television and news channels and whatnot and going online and living online. And that's kind of what I see here with Bob Arum. I really don't know what dude's role is in any of this. And I just don't know if it's helping for boxing to be in a better space. Because whether you like Fury, whether you like Anthony Joshua, whether you like Deontay Wilder, all of this bullshit that we are, and all of this drama that we just went through for the last 7 months, a lot of people just don't have the patience for it. A lot of people is Succession show based on it? Yeah, I think so, loosely. But it's in a pretty different direction. But it's a decent show. And season 3, it looks like they have Sanaa Lathan, the lovely Sanaa Lathan is gonna be on there. And so that's why I'm getting caught up to see how they bring her in for the next season. I mean, we could talk about billions, with Bobby Axelrod, and maybe that's Eddie Hearn's equivalent. I can't knock Eddie Hearn. He tried to make the thing happen. But you're dealing with a guy who is looking for the path of least resistance. But again, I just go back to this other YouTube channel. I'm just like, how do you change your story every day on whatever bullshit? I'm good either way with the decision. Yeah, either way. The only thing now, keeping it a buck, that I like to do, looking at the situation, looking at the potential matchup between Fury and Wilder, I would have been heavily leaning towards Fury in the trilogy, but based on both men being inactive for so long, that's a much closer fight to me now. If it even happens. That's a much closer fight, or a more difficult fight for me to say who my winner is and how. But I'll get to that when we cross that bridge. But on the other hand, looking at Eddie Hearn and Anthony Joshua and possibly having to fight Usyk, the last picture that I saw of Usyk, it looks like he's up to like 240 pounds, above 235 pounds. And because we continue to have these questions about AJ and his ability to box, his resolve as a fighter, his toughness, whatever questions you may have about him, it's a dangerous ass fight for Anthony Joshua. You know, it's a lot of to me, it's a lot of intrigue there about whether or not you know, the smaller, somewhat smaller, but quicker Usyk could dance around and get late in the fight and maybe trouble Anthony Joshua if he was to have some gas tank issues. You know, Usyk might be the better or the more fluid boxer in that matchup. And, you know, like I said, we just are going to continue to have questions about Anthony Joshua. One, because he's a Brit. Secondly, because he's already been defeated. And then third, because the perception that he gave up. So it's not a either. Like I said, either way, I'm still. What did Alonzo say at the end of training day before they sprayed him up? After when he got done wrestling around with Hoyt, he's like, I'm still winning. I'm still motherfucking winning. I'm winning. If you give me Usyk and AJ, and then in July or August, if you give me Wilder and Fury 3, I'm still winning. No big deal to me. I don't get it. I honestly don't get it. And then lastly, before I get off of here for my lunch break, to see the same individuals immediately flip to Wilder should step aside. Wilder doesn't deserve a third fight. Nobody wants to see that fight, but then you still calling for Triple G and Canelo. Quick aside right there. When do some people quit? When do some people just stop? Like, that's what I'm saying. It must be lucrative. It must be some kind of payoff for some people to continue to show up every day and just change direction with whatever the wind is blowing. Like Tony Yayo texted or replied to a video earlier. I think it would be a horrible look. And Jamel Herring, he was on Twitter. I was reading his tweets talking about when you're trying to overthink shit. That Wilder should take some step aside money. Let Fury and AJ fight, and then sign an even bigger contract, and then have more legacy stuff on the line because it's an undisputed fight. That's too many moving pieces, man. That's too many moving pieces. And I'm listening to this J. Cole record. I can't remember which joint it was, but he was like, man, some of this, it ain't about money, it's about time. And that's what, when you get into your mid-30s where Deontay Wilder is, like, money is, I need to maximize my time. I'm not trying to mess around. Right now, we on the clock for September 14th, September 15th. That's my goal. Get this fight in before that. This shit, wait around for these other dudes to fight and yada, yada. I ain't got, that don't have nothing to do with me. You just won the battle that you needed to win to move forward, to try to rectify the situation that you found yourself in last February. Go make that happen. Win, lose, or draw, or whatever, and address it. Now you see Jamel Herring trying to overthink how he can get this bout with Oscar Valdez instead of fighting the young lion and Shakur Stevenson. So of course that's what he's talking about. Well, you need to play it like this. Nah, you don't need to do nothing. You played it the way that you played it. If you can get this fight made, then you go fight the dude and get it over with. Get your costume situation together. Get to work on that now. Make sure it's light enough. Get your bottles sealed up. Tell JD's to leave a bag of cocaine in Tuscaloosa or Malik Scott, whatever. Get all your corner stuff together and go do what you got to do. This shit is simple. But that's it, man. I don't really have nothing serious to say on this, man. I just think it's good that and that's the whole thing out of all of this. Like, we went through all this shit with ESPN and Fox trying to work together, and PBC and Top Rank. It didn't even make things better in terms of getting the marquee fights that we want made. This didn't even help usher that to a better place. Every time we go to make one of these, make a meaningful fight, it's like picking all 68 teams for March Madness. It's that freaking difficult, if not more difficult. And that's the real thing that's pissing me off is, if you go back to it, the card for Tyson Fury and Wilder, the second fight, the card really wasn't that great. And then we were left with this shit show that we've been, that these man fans have been out here crying about for the last 14, 15 months. So let's just get to this third fight, man. Hopefully it's a decisive winner either way. And then on the other side, we see what happens with AJ and Usyk, if that gets done, if that's the direction that they go in, and we move forward. But I just ain't, like I said, I've been saying, man, boxing fan wants to pick the location, pick the hotels that they stay at, assign the referee, pick the judges, pick the gloves, pick the ring size, pick the commission, pick the ring, approve the ring walk music, pick the ring girls, pick the on-air commentators, how high the trunks can be, all kind of shit. What they want to pick, who can broadcast it, cameras in the locker room, not in the locker room. Fight fan want to do every damn thing, but ain't nobody training no fighters. Ain't nobody managing no fighters. So enjoy it. That's all I can do for you for Bite Down Boxing is look at it all, and this thing of ours, this great thing of ours. Like I said, man, I don't know. Anyway, I wanted to talk about the fight at hand, the super lightweight undisputed fight between Jose Ramirez and Josh Taylor. Hey, if you haven't done so, I will go out there and check out the two Blood, Sweat, and Tears programs. They're on Top Rank on their YouTube page. I will go check them out, man. I'm a sucker for that shit. If you show me dudes working out, pause. If you show me dudes in camp getting prepared for a fight and working on their diet and performance training and strategy, and just talking about how, the mentality of getting ready to go in here for the biggest fight of their career, it's a very easy sell for me. So I wasn't going to watch it because we're going to see it 20 times on fight night. But I broke down and watched it. It looks like it was some pretty good viewing numbers on there. They did change the stories up a little bit. The one thing that I thought was interesting was that Jose Ramirez let it out the bag that he was going to try to bully. Usually they don't really give any strategy. They don't really say anything significant. But Jose Ramirez said that he was going to try to, and I think Taylor was already aware of this, but Ramirez said he was going to try to bully him into the ropes and put him under duress and really test his will. That's not going to work in my opinion. Taylor is not a punk. Taylor is not a chump. He's just not. So maybe that was some, isn't he the small? Just slightly. I think he has the longer arm reach though. But, if you got something to work up to before you try to implement that strategy, third, fifth round or something, if you're going to try that in there, maybe, but to come out early and just try to bull Josh Taylor, I don't see that being all that successful. Taylor, the one thing that stood out to me was I forgot Ben Davis was his chief second, and I don't really know where I am with Ben Davison as a new top trainer. And he reminds me of one of the Frodo. He reminds me of one of them what was that, the Ring or whatever it was, one of the hobbits. His accent and the hairstyle, he just reminded me of one of the hobbits. But anyway, he can talk about boxing, and you know, he had the good connection with Tyson Fury going into the first fight with Wilder, maybe even the Schwartz fight. I think he was there for that one. Oh no, Otto Wallin. Davison is too. Yeah, exactly. But you know, he was, you know, Davison was very complimentary of what Taylor was able to do against the Consong guy who barely got his ring attire off before he got knocked out. So, you know, maybe there is a good mix. I saw Davison working with Devin Haney or something. Like, I just didn't know dude was in demand like that. But on the other side, you know, I like what I was hearing from, and I like Robert Garcia, you know, one of my favorite trainers. I like that environment that they have out there. I believe that's Oxnard, California, with the RGBA, the Robert Garcia Boxing Academy. I like that whole team environment thing. And, you know, when you got a good mix of fighters in there with champions, prospects, and it's kind of off, you know, off the beaten path a little bit, and dudes just working on fighting and getting better, I'm a stand for that type of stuff. So check those out. Just as some content to get you ready for the fight Saturday. I'm very excited. Actually, the press conference is getting ready to start here in about 19 minutes. So I'm gonna go get ready. I might try to get in a question if nobody's, you know, they go to the same 4 dudes to start, and then they ask all the low-hanging fruit. So you got to be creative. So anyway, I'm gonna go see if I can get involved with that and go from there. Again, man, we'll see if there is an official announcement from Top Rank on you know what the fight is and when it's gonna be. That's all I got, man. Bite down, boxer. Don't let them catch you. I thank everybody for rocking with me for a few minutes. Consider subscribing to the channel. Yeah, Tony Yayo, man. It's always personal, man. You can find it out there, or use that link that I put into the response to you. I'm out of here, man. Peace.